Have you ever stopped to think about all the stories that you can tell the world simply by your experiences and everything that you've gone through? I once met a man who was ex military who had stories galore. I mean, so many things happened in this person's life, and I stopped to think about my life. Yes, my name is Dr. Roseanne Gonzalez, and this is my channel, Dr. Rose 60 Plus Motivation Generation. We're going to motivate each other. And how can we motivate each other? Through our stories, the stories that you can leave as a legacy. I would love to write something for you, so I'll have that format for you. It's very simple. These days with AI, it is so easy to put your experiences down or speak them out. I'm still going to inspire you to start a YouTube channel. I would love to hear your stories. So, with that said, your journey matters. Let's get started. Now, before I go into the 3 easy steps it takes to tell your story, I want you to know that your voice has power. Your past is a gift. Whether you think it was good or bad, those experiences that you've endured, whether, like I said, good or bad, have meaning to them. They have lessons behind them. I've often told myself, Roseanne, this happened for a reason. God put you here for a reason, and you're in the right place at the right time. So, whatever the experience is, you're going to learn from it. Okay? So, like I said, your voice, your experiences, your journey has power, right? So, with that said, let's go over the 3 steps for telling your story, and it's going to be amazing, right? Let's do this. Okay, so step 1 is to reflect. Reflect on the stories, the struggles, the lessons that you would like to convey, because every situation that you went through did have a lesson behind it and a reason behind it, right? So, which ones would you really like to tell first? Because eventually you can tell them all. So, like I did, I went back and I reflected on my childhood because I wrote a book. I have it there in the stand store, so please open that up. It's Survivor to Scholar. So I went back to my childhood and I remembered that I was being bullied when I was in the second or third grade. And I was being bullied on the bus. The bus would come to the front of my house, pick me up. I had my little badge on and would go to school every day in the morning. Was fine. It was coming home. I remembered that this girl who was maybe 2, 3 years older than me, tall girl, was picking on me. She would pinch me. She would push me off of the seat. She would verbally, abuse me. And this happened over weeks, right? And I wouldn't say anything because I didn't want my mom and dad to get mad or say anything to the bus driver. I was just that little introvert that wouldn't tell anybody. So one day, out of the blue, one of my friends said, "You want to walk home with me?" And I said, "Yes, please." Because so and so is picking on me. She says, "Yeah, I saw that. So let's walk home." Well, I didn't live very far from the school, but I did have to cross a very busy street. And then eventually I felt like I was okay. So I didn't even think about any consequences whatsoever. And here's this little 7, 8-year-old girl in her little school uniform, because I was going to a Catholic school, walking with this other girl walking home. And it was fine. We crossed the busy street, we kept on walking, and then we turned the corner and kept on walking when her street came before my street. That meant I had to walk the rest of the way, which is about 3 blocks, by myself, which I had never done in my life. Backstory: my parents are very, very over possessive and putting me in a private school, protect me, this, that, and the other. Well, so the girl turned and said, "Bye, I'll see you tomorrow." And I was okay. So I'm walking home when I was crossing one of the it was just a mild intersection. It wasn't that busy. When I saw a big black dog charging towards me. He was like halfway down the block. He was charging towards me. I totally, totally had this fear that this dog was going to maul me. I turned around and started running down the street. And I was running to the point that I was yelling, "Help me, help me, help me." And when this lady came out of her corner house and waved me on to her porch, and I said, "What's wrong, dear? What's wrong?" I said, "That dog." And the dog disappeared. I didn't see the dog anymore. I said, "There was a big black dog chasing me, and I was afraid he was going to bite me." She said, "Okay, let's call your parents." And so I had my badge on, and she called my mom. And at the time, my mother didn't drive. So my mother, here comes my mother, walking really fast. I was like 2 blocks away by this point. And she walked really fast and came to the door and thanked the lady, just totally thanked the lady. And she said, "Not a problem." She was screaming, "Help me, help me." And she said there was a big black dog chasing her. And so she said, "Thank you, thank you." So my mom, scolded me all the way home. "What were you doing? What were you thinking? Not riding the bus?" So I had to tell her about the bully. And so the consequences came down, and I got in trouble. When my dad got home, I got in trouble by my dad, and he said, "Rosie, you never do anything like that. You never know. You're lucky that, somebody else didn't grab you and take you. You're very, very lucky that that lady called you into her house." Well, I didn't go into her house. I went to her porch. And so with that story, I had to think back. I had already pushed that out of my memory. But when I told my daughter learned from that, knowing that she cannot, go out by herself and be aware of your surroundings. And so, yes, there was a lesson behind that, especially with the bullying. So the girl got in trouble. She got suspended from riding the bus. The bus driver got in trouble for not realizing that I wasn't on the bus. And I got in trouble for doing it also. So those little stories now that I reflected back on it so I can write into my book have a lot of meaning to me, and that meaning went to my daughter. Okay, so first step is to reflect. What stories do you want to tell that are going to give some type of lesson, a legacy, if you want to say, to those around you? Okay, let's go to step two. Step two now. Step two is choose your format. You need to remember that your story has power. It is something that so many people want to know about. So it's up to you. Would you like to write it out? And I'll teach you how to use different AI tools to do this. Do you want to write it out, write a book, write it in digital format, or just write it in your journal and share that with others? Or would you like to speak it? Okay, would you like to speak it and just sit and tell your family, tell your friends all the stories, that happened in your lifetime? It's a journey. It's a journey to go back. Yes, because there's so many situations that, like I said, I put it to the back, and there's more situations. So check out my book, Survivor to Scholar, because I had really wanted to forget these things. I guess that's what my psyche did, because some of them were traumatic. But then I have a lot of good stories to tell as well. What do you want to do? What kind of format do you want to do? You want to write it? Do you want to speak it? Or do you want to record it? Which would be awesome on YouTube. Of course, you're not going to get into the real personal stories unless you want to. That's up to you. I personally wrote as much as I possibly could about my situations that happened growing up, being married. I was married to an abusive man and had to tear myself away from there. and all the situations that happened in between to get to where I am today, a PhD scholar. So those stories make you you. And how do you want to do it? What type of format do you want to use? I personally say write it down first. Remember, I'm a journal person. Write it down first. That way you remember, those details will come to you. Both my mom and dad were diabetics, so my dad had a touch of dementia. So with me, that's a fear. So I tend to write everything down, but that's me. Then I'll record it. Like I said, I have a book out. Check it out for me. See if you like it. Okay. It will bring meaning. It'll teach you how to do it. But in the process, I am currently writing that PDF for you to show you how to write your story. So step 2, figure out your format. Use all of them if you want. Write, speak, and record. Sounds good to me. Let's go to step number 3. And step 3, send it out. Okay? So you reflected on it, you figured out a format, and you've written it out. Now that's the part I'll help you with, putting it all together. And now you're ready to send it out. Now remember that you're going to send it out with purpose, because your voice, your story matters. Now, what is the lesson that these people are going to gather from your story? What is the passion that you feel behind it? So my story about going down those streets by myself as a 7, 8-year-old, the lesson behind that is you need to speak up, Roseanne. You need to speak up and don't let people bully you, right? The story behind my survivor to scholar was, again, allowing people to manipulate my life to the point that I had to break those chains, and move on to be a PhD scholar. What message do you want to give the people with your stories? Your stories are awesome. Your stories have so much meaning behind them. So, with that said, I'm Dr. Roseanne Gonzalez, and those were the 3 steps to telling your story, because your journey matters. Think about it. Every step of the way that you've been is a different story, it's a different journey, and it all comes together to make the beautiful person that you are today, right? So remember, this is Dr. Rose, 60 Plus Motivation Generation. I'm going to motivate you to start a YouTube channel, because you are amazing. Check out my Stan Store. Don't forget to subscribe, because these videos are going to be popping out, because I love doing this. You are my inspiration, and they have value from my stories, right? From my journey. I'll talk to you in the next one. Ciao.